What's up, everybody? What's going on, man? So it's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I want to put this out there. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all enjoy the food and your family, and that's what it's about. So we're gonna move forward. We're out here with the 03 today, dealing with the same starting issue. I'm here in the garage. I had to grab my little multimeter. We're gonna walk out here to the truck. I'm gonna show you that the battery's still hot. Then I'm gonna hit the key, and then we're gonna jump into taking the starter off. One of my subscribers, my buddy, daily driver, informed me and reminded me that the starter being bolted to the engine block does play as a ground. So we're gonna rip it off. We're gonna try to test the starter. We're gonna clean everything up, put it back together, see if it works. We got that meter hooked up. I'm gonna show y'all, man, this truck hasn't ran in a week and a half. I'm still sitting at 12.17 volts. We all know, and if you don't, you will now. All you need is 12 volts to start your truck. So we're gonna jump in here and hit the key. We're gonna see if it'll make that dragging noise like it's been doing. I go through all this stuff, man, and it's still doing it. I've never had to deal with the issue this many times in a row, but hey, we're jumping into it. We'll get it fixed and we'll keep driving it. Plus I'll show you the mileage on the truck now. We're in the truck. I'm gonna show you the mileage, and then we're gonna start it, and we're gonna see what it sounds like. I checked my terminals, they are tight. I also checked my oil because this truck leaks, even sitting here, and it has been sitting here for a week. So the oil's good, terminals are tight. We're gonna hit the key. I'll show you this mileage real quick. 411,163 miles. So let's see how it sounds. You hear how it choo. That's the problem I'm dealing with. So when it gets hot, it really does that, like to the point that the truck doesn't want to start, which I've been dealing with this. So we're gonna jump into, like I said, we're gonna take all the wires off. We're gonna clean all the connections. We're gonna take the starter off, clean that connection. I might have a way to test the starter. We'll find out if it's gonna work or not. So I'm gonna jump underneath this hood, take this battery off, start taking some of the wires off. I'll show y'all which wires I'm taking off and checking, which will mainly be my power wires, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I took my battery off, both connections. I wanted a completely dead battery. We know it's good, so I'm taking off my wire here, which goes from the positive lead over here. It goes up, right? And then it goes over to the alternator. Okay, and then so I'm checking this because I feel like it's a bad ground or a bad connection problem. And then I'm looking here at all the grit. I have never taken this off. Look underneath it. So we're gonna clean all that up. Like I said, it comes over here to the alternator, comes all the way. It's your positive feed to your alternator here, which I have changed my alternator. And that's that. Now I did get my starter tested in the last video. I have replaced it, and I don't know if it's just a weak starter and it's not quite weak enough to register on their computer that it's bad or not. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going through these processes, to try to get it going. That, and it's free, and if I can help some guys get it done for free, man, that's what we're talking about around here. I do want to note, if you can see it, this corrosion right here before I clean it off. And I did get some sandpaper, just some regular old sandpaper, and sanded this down. I want the best connection possible. Like I stated, I feel like it's a connection problem the way it's acting. So we're gonna clean these up real good, and then we're gonna give it a try. And if all else fails, man, I'm gonna have to drop back and find me somebody with an OEM starter for sale. They discontinued the ones on these trucks. I mean, a lot of these parts you go to Mopar and look for, they're discontinued. So that'll be that. And I also want to take these off and clean this up in here. All right, check it out, man. We hadn't got underneath the truck yet. So I took this one off and I cleaned it really well. I sanded down the connection here, and this one also, which this is a pretty important connection. Let me see. I cleaned that off. The thing was filthy. I believe in the first of the video you could see how dirty it was, so I sanded everything down. Now we're under the truck. Here's our starter right here. This is our starter. So if you can see, it's filthy under here. Well, you know, everybody that's watched my channel knows what's up. But this is what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna unplug our connector here. We're gonna have to drop our starter down and then undo our wire. We'll pull it out, we'll clean it up, we'll put it back, and then that'll be that. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get into this. This will be the removing the starter on your 03 Hemi Ram part of the video. So we got to get up in here. We got to pull this lock off of here, off of this thing. Where's my flat blade? I got a flat blade out here. That normally helps. If you can get in there, I'll tell you what. So this is what we're gonna do. I already broke the starter loose, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, if y'all know me, I always go with the top bolt first, taking it out, depending on the situation. Most of the time, I like to leave the top bolt in, so it'll hang, but in this case, I don't really need it hanging. I would rather get the more difficult bolt out, which neither one of them are difficult, but it's a little more difficult to get to the top one than it is the bottom one. So that's why we're going with that. So this is a 5/8. Your starter bolts are 5/8, not 15. They're 5/8. Here we go. I can't get in there with my fingers. All right, voila, there it is. Now here's the tricky part, because you got to pull it down, right, and out, and then turn it like so. So see, I can get to my connections now. So we're gonna pull the pin here. Ah, man, it broke. That sucked. All right, let me get my flat blade here. Where'd it go? So we're gonna drop back and punt on this one, like always. So we're gonna push our lock out. I hope y'all can see that. It's in the front right here. Just try to pull it out or push it out. Man, that is a bummer. I'm hoping I can push it out. I'm trying to push it out and not break the clip. Like I've stated in several videos, man, this old plastic, you're messing with it, man, it breaks real simple. There it goes. There it goes. Now it's out. Depress your tab, pull it off. So this here, I have enough room to set my starter right there. I believe that's a 1/2 inch. Let's see. Pull out my little handy dandy tool set here. So your bolt on your starter is a 13. It is a 13 millimeter. Here we are. You take that off, your plug starter comes right out. I do believe this is going to be an issue here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. You can see this wire here. I'm going to clean this wire up really well. You see that corrosion on there? And there. So I'm going to get my sandpaper. I'm going to clean that up really well. The plug looks good. This plug looks good. The wire looks good. I mean, it don't seem brittle. And then we're also gonna clean the surface here. You see where the starter goes? We're gonna clean that off real well. And then we'll reinstall. All right, so we got everything cleaned up. We're back under the truck. So I cleaned everything. I cleaned the bolts. I cleaned this. I ran the threads. I cleaned my little bolt. That's the side that connects to the starter. It's gonna be down on the connection like so. So I made sure to clean it good, get a good clean surface. You know how I like to have a great connection. So then we're gonna slide over here. I'll show you, look, I cleaned up. Turn my light on here. I cleaned up my mounting surface there. I sanded it all down, cleaned it all up. Same with my plug. I'm pulling my plug down here. Cleaned it up real good. Kind of got a glare on it. You see I cleaned it up, sanded it down real good. So we're gonna put everything back in, fire it up, see what it sounds like. So let's get it going. All right, here we go, getting it going now for sure. So it's just gonna be the reverse process of taking it out, right? We're just gonna be gentle, like always. You don't wanna break anything. So you flip your starter over, right, upside down. And then this, well, it's not really upside down, should I say. You want this to hook in there just like that. You see that little cut right there? That's for that ear. So you know you got it on there right. Now, like I said, shiny side of the bolt down. We want the connection to be as good as possible, right? That's what we're looking for on these Hemis. We can also take this, we can plug it back in, slide it in there. Oops. We'll get it on there, just give me a second. This thing wraps around this thing so many times, not even funny. So here we go. Once we get it to line up, you gotta understand it's a sealed connection, right? It's underneath the truck. It's got a little O-ring in there. And there it is. It's on there all the way. You can't pull it off. It's in there all the way. I know my little lock's broke, but we're gonna push it in anyway. Once we get it to snap on there, it's not on there yet. I don't feel like it's on there all the way. So let's do this. So we're gonna pull this back off. Let's not jump the gun here. So we're gonna pull our power wire back off. This does come from your positive feed. Let's pull this back down. Let's see if I can't get this thing back off of here. Oh yeah. Well, hell. Y'all bear with me for a minute. Push this lock back out. There's that lock. So there it is. Now we're gonna do this one first, right? Let's be smart about it. You want it to push all the way in until it clicks. Whether you can hear it or not, you can see it right here. You can see it click over that piece. There it goes. You make sure it's all the way on, it won't come off. Push your lock forward. Even though mine's broke, I'm still gonna use it. Why not? It keeps it from coming undone. Push our lock back in. That's good, safe. Now, like I said, put your little ear. Wipe this back off here. You put your little ear on your wire right here. It cuts up in there just like that. It's a perfect little spot for it. Put our bolt back on. 13 millimeter, remember, 13 millimeter. Let me get it. Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. 13 millimeter. Now we're gonna tighten it up. We're not gonna get crazy with it. Just like that. I mean, that's perfect. That wire don't move. It's perfect. That's perfect. So we are going to start. We're gonna try to start with the top bolt first. Get it set up in there. You know, it rolls up like so, right? Get it set up in there. Everything sticks up, cuts up in there, nice and neat. So we're gonna try with the top, and then we'll go from there. You know, once you get a couple threads in there like so, look, that was gravy. It'll hang. Get your bottom bolt, get it started. Get it all snug back up. I gotta put my battery back together. I did disconnect my battery before I started getting on all this starter work. You are messing with a power wire coming directly off your power feed from your battery. You do not want to short anything out. So it is important to make sure you take your battery undone before you start doing anything like this. Now I'm using a 6-inch extension. You don't have to, but it does make it easier to get that ratchet up in there. And voila. So we're gonna run it up in there, snug it up, hook the battery back up. So there it is, nice and snug. It's on there, the wires are good. They're tucked up in there like they're supposed to. So I was hooking this battery up. I almost forgot. I told y'all we're gonna clean these. We are gonna clean these. Look at this. Look at that. Look at all that. That corrosion in there. And then look at the bottom of this plate here. So that could also contribute to a starting issue. We're gonna take this one off and start it. But I wanted to show you this, man. So everybody knows, as well as I do, that Coca-Cola will clean the corrosion and stuff off of your battery wires, battery cables, whatever you want to say. So we're gonna set this camera down. I'm gonna try to get it where it'll stay still here. And I'm gonna show you, right, that all you need is water. That's it. That's all you need. Well, hold on, before we get crazy, man, let me take this let me take this positive cable off too. I don't trust it. All right, here we go. So you just take your thing, just hold it in the water, man. Just let it sit in the water. All right, you just let your wires sit in the water. And as they sit in the water, man, any corrosion or anything will come right off of there. So if you can't tell, those are a lot cleaner now. They're not black. And look at that water. So just a little side tip. Y'all know I like to throw them in my videos. If you're looking to clean battery corrosion, don't go pouring Coke all over your battery, making it sticky. Use water. It works just as well. So this is the positive side. I cleaned the negative side up. I sanded all that rust off. I'm going to do the same thing to this piece, straighten it out, put it back together, and we'll see how it sounds. All right, guys, we cleaned everything up, cleaned our little tabs up, sanded them down smooth, got the rust off of them tight. We made sure they were down good and tight. So here we go, man. Let's start it up, see what it sounds like. See if all this work either paid off or didn't. So here it is. Let's see what it sounds like here. Y'all gonna have to look at my door for a second. Man, that thing sounded good. That's how it's supposed to sound. So I will go drive the truck. I'll get out and about here in a little bit, good and hot. See if it's gonna continue doing the thing. But the way that sounded, we might have got the problem fixed. So all the connections that I took off and cleaned up, I never have, not since the first day I bought this truck. So that could be the issue, the way it's acting. Like I've stated several times, it just seems like there's a bad connection, because sometimes it'll zoom just like it did, and then sometimes it drags. But when it gets hot, it really drags and doesn't want to start. So with all that, we went through the process, removing the starter, installing the starter, cleaning all the terminals, use sandpaper. I use 180 grit and 400 grit. Clean everything to a nice pristine surface, tighten everything back up, and that's that. So until I get out and drive the truck, get it good and hot and see what it does, this will be the end of the video. So with all of that, keep living the dream, doing your thing, like and subscribe. Always drop your boy a comment, and I'm rolling out.